Okay, let's dive right into it. We're plunging deep into Monte Carlo, getting ready for that unique event that is the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah, absolutely. And specifically, we're zeroing in on the buildup we saw on Saturday, May 24th.
That's right, looking at Fernando Alonso's absolutely wild qualifying lap and his predictions for the race, too.
And also getting some fascinating first impressions from Adrian Newey on his new home at Aston Martin. We've been looking over reports coming straight out of the paddock.
Capturing their exact words, right, gives us a real sense of their perspective.
Exactly. These aren't just summaries. It's direct insight heading into this incredibly challenging weekend.
Absolutely. So our mission today,
Yeah.
cut through the noise, pull out those, essential nuggets of knowledge from these reports.
And figure out what it all means for Aston Martin and, well, the Monaco race itself.
So where do we start? It has to be that qualifying session, doesn't it? Fernando Alonso.
Oh, definitely. You could almost feel the tension just reading the reports. Monaco qualifying is always, well, it's always on a knife's edge.
And Alonso was pushing it to the absolute limit.
Yeah, the descriptions mentioned him roughing up walls and hugging guardrails. That amazing Spanish phrase, rozando muros y apurando guardarraile.
You could practically hear the scrape of the paintwork.
Totally. And the payoff. He wrestled that car into Q3.
Which, for Aston Martin right now, that feels like a massive win, doesn't it?
It really does. He ended up P7. Lap time was 1.0.924.
And what's really telling is this is his third time in Q3 in the last 3 races.
That's progress.
Oh.
For him, that's clear progress. You could hear the pure emotion immediately after, too.
Oh, the radio message, that burst of, woo, no puedo hacer nada más.
Woo! I can't do anything else. Just the sound of a driver who knows he's wrung the absolute neck of the car, left nothing on the table.
I love hearing that raw emotion. It's so rare,
It really is. And he followed up with just palpable joy. Said he loves driving here. It's a special day.
Called it a good step being in Q3 for the third race running.
And the contrast with just a week before in Imola, it's pretty stark, isn't it?
Yeah, after finishing 11th there, out of the points.
He famously said he was the unluckiest driver in the world. Soy el piloto con más mala suerte del mundo.
He did clarify it was frustration, sure.
Of course. But to go from that low, that real frustration, to the sheer elation, just 7 days later after one qualifying lap.
It tells you everything about what Monaco means and what P7 actually felt like for him and the team.
It really highlights the emotional roller coaster these F1 drivers are on.
Totally. 1 week despair, the next week euphoria over a P7 because it felt like the absolute maximum.
And he admitted he took risks to get it. He said he put in ese poco extra de más.
That little extra.
Yeah. And his reason for it was fascinating. He said he has more freedom right now because he's not fighting for the championship.
Una libertad que no tendrías cuando luchas por el mundial.
That makes sense.
Exactly. When you're not trying to manage points or a title challenge, you can afford to take that slightly bigger lunge, Kiss the wall a bit harder.
Just in case it unlocks that extra 10th or 2.
Right. He wasn't fully confident after a difficult FB3 session earlier that day, apparently.
But he knew he had to find that bit extra for qualifying.
He even said he drives for days like this, for that specific Monaco qualifying feeling. It's about that personal satisfaction, isn't it? Extracting the max, even if the car isn't perfect.
Yeah, for him, that specific high-wire act is the reward on a circuit like this.
A very different picture on the other side of the garage, though.
Oh, yeah. Lance Stroll had a rough session. Reports mention confusion with other cars.
And that penalty from the Friday incident meant he was starting right from the back.
So one side celebrating P7 like a pole, the other facing a huge uphill battle before the race even began.
It just underscores the tiny margins in Monaco, doesn't it? A tiny error, a bit of bad luck in your P20.
But get it right, and P7 feels like everything. Okay, so that was a single lap glory. Let's pivot to the race itself.
Because Monaco this year has thrown a bit of a curveball.
That mandatory 2-stop strategy, this is totally new territory here.
Yeah, and Alonso had a lot to say about this too. He called it una cita a ciegas.
A blind date. Love that analogy.
It fits perfectly right.
Yeah.
Nobody, not the drivers, not the strategists, has solid data or experience for this specific scenario here.
It introduces a massive unknown into the equation.
And that uncertainty led to his really bold prediction.
Which was?
Los 10 primeros de hoy no serán los 10 primeros de la carrera. The top 10 on the grid will not be the top 10 at the finish.
Okay, bold statement. Why does he think that?
He explained it. He anticipates un juego muy, muy táctico, a very, very tactical game.
Right.
His point was that cars starting outside the top 10, the ones not in the points anyway, they have solo pueden ganar, literally only can gain.
They've got nothing to lose by trying something crazy.
Exactly. They can try cualquier tipo de estrategia anómala. Any kind of anomalous strategy, like pitting on lap 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, really early.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting strategically. From P7, why wouldn't he just cover one of those early pitters? Stop with them.
Well, he explained that. If he stopped that early, just to cover a car that wasn't even scoring points at the start.
He'd rejoin right in the thick of it.
Precisely. Right in the middle of slower traffic, encontrar todo el tren de coches, finding himself stuck in a train of cars.
Which could totally arruinar la carrera, ruin his own race.
Yeah. He stressed that pace is kind of less important than track position and just staying out of that traffic in this specific scenario.
It completely flips the usual Monaco strategic thinking, doesn't it? Where the lead car controls the pace, manages the gap.
Totally. With a mandatory two-stop and the chance of cars trying these wild strategies, the driver and the pit wall have to make split-second decisions.
Based on pretty limited information, I guess.
Alonso even highlighted that. He said he needs team information more than ever in this scenario, unlike other tracks where he gets a feel from the car.
Right, he can sense the tires, the balance.
But in Monaco, with this new rule, he needs real-time data. What are the others doing? What tires are they on? What are their sector times after pitting? He needs that to react.
And he doesn't have